pretty peaceful park. It's like there's nobody here. Yep. It's one of them videos where I don't have anything to say, but I'm sure I'll think of something. Cold water kills. See, look. When the water is cold, it kills. When the water, you know, the gospel is like cold-hearted. That's why they're considered murderers, because they murder spirits. That's why they're considered cannibalists, because they eat spirits alive. It's a beautiful sky today. I mean, it's makes me want to get that noose that you got there, Steve. All right, run along now. Shoo, shoo. Hey, you guys, shoo. Oh, great, I scared them off. They must sense the evil. Yeah, so I am used to being watched without seeing anybody watch you. And it's a demonic, spirited feeling. But I also know that it's a way of preparing you to deal with people. It's my understanding, getting you prepared. What? Carl. I just said Carl, didn't I? Carl. Carl. You know, can't afford. I think that's still mine. No, did I change that troll account? I don't know. So eyes, I've always felt from a child walking around, just feeling like eyes. Not even knowing that it's like surveillance, but always feeling like people. Maybe I'm just born a schizophrenic, paranoid person, right? Always feeling like people are watching you, Robin. Yeah, that's why I did things like I always just felt like there were people watching. Maybe because I thought that they're newsy. I just always had a sense that there was somebody like looking around. And I always knew that God was too. That was fine. That feels comfortable. The other way, well, it didn't feel comfortable. And now I realize that it's just a way to get me prepared. So now it's just normal. But I'll be able to get all these people's attention. The ones that are pretending that they're not watching. I will get all your guys' attention when, you know, when my vision comes true. I mean, look, I'm just dreaming, you know. It's only a dream. it ain't like dreams are that important, you know. I mean, whatever. It's only a dream. You know what though? I remember Joseph. Remember that guy? He had that dream. He was telling his brothers that he was going to rule over them. They didn't like it, so they sold him to frickin' Egypt. And from what I understand, and everybody can do this, they can search this up themselves. You really can. You can look up certain facts that happen. Like, there's no way of interpreting it another way. This is what happened. And because it said he was sold to the Egyptians, his own brothers. But, you know, the old king there, Pharaoh, he didn't even know, you know, who Joseph was. He had no idea. But he was sold into slavery anyway. Which represents us these days. We're still sold into slavery. They can act like they let the slaves go, but they didn't. So he was sold. And then, because dreams mean absolutely nothing, right? When you have a dream, whether it's a literal dream in the middle of the night, or as you're walking, you're daydreaming, and so, I mean, you can call me a dreamer. Steve will call me a filthy dreamer, even though my dreams they're not filthy. I have legitimate dreams, my dreams and aspirations. I'm telling you what it is. The other end, Nimrod's end, they're not telling me. They're just implying it. So I read between the lines of the implications. And then I come up with my wild conclusions of delusion. And there was 2 groups of 7 years. There was the first 7 years of the famine, and then the last 7 years of the famine. The first 7, gave Joseph enough time to gather up what he needed to gather up for the last 7. Probably, I don't know if it was a reign. I don't know how long he ruled for, but every time this happened with Nimrod, the wounded head that did live, the one that's going to be last, the first, well, he shall be the last too, but the last are going to be more than the first, because there's plenty of people that are going to wake up in the end, in the last moments, and that's going to be plenty of people compared to the ones that did in the beginning, 144,000. So he never learned his lesson. He keeps doing the same thing. But I just love the fact that Joseph, after he interpreted his dream, right? Pharaoh, I would say he's a pretty evil guy, right? What do you think? I mean, king of Egypt, yeah. And then Joseph, well, he wasn't an evil person at all. But I find it funny that, well, it's not really funny, but it's truth. The truth is, he was made he was made second in charge. Second in charge. Right underneath of basically like his enemy. But throughout the whole time that Joseph was there, I mean, wasn't he allowed to do whatever it is that he wanted to do? Didn't he move like his brothers and his dad? Like, come on down. Didn't he bring like his whole family and everything? Didn't he have enough food to feed people? Literally. And of course spiritually, because once he interprets the dream of Pharaoh, well, he kind of gets what he wants, right? I have a feeling Joseph was probably asking, he was asking for it. He was asking for it. And he got his way all right. He sure did. And then even Nimrod himself, it's like Esau, well, he chopped his freaking head off, you know? He chopped his head off. He defeated him. I don't know much about Esau. Haven't read up on him. But I understand Joseph's life. I understand. See, those are things that I just said that, well, they're facts in the Bible. That is what happened. There is no interpreting it a different way. Joseph was sold to the Egyptians by his brothers, his own freaking brothers. And he did gather up more corn, you know, because that's what the dream was about. The fat corn, the thin corn. The 7 years and the other 7 years. And so he did gather up enough, and he did have plenty to sell people when they needed it. And he was the man because, you know, he thought ahead. He gave everybody, you know, that's why he gives people a head start, because you're already ahead of the game. It's like when you start here, you know, let them start here. And then you start back there because you're already ahead. It's only fair. These little trails over here. How you doing? Every time I walk by people, I never feel like they're gonna kill me. But that's the way the TV makes people look, right? Like we are all just, we just hate each other's guts so bad. Maybe I should try this trail here. That's kind of how I feel about people everywhere in the world. Just go in the store, just look around at people. They're all just there, going about their business. They don't know. Yeah, they just don't. They're just part of the. That's a little bit muddy back here. Or soft, not muddy. It's like any moment, you step into some quicksand or something. But everybody's just kind of minding their own business. I don't ever get any thoughts of fear, like man, these people are gonna kill me. I mean, maybe somebody will come up and be like, "Oh yeah, Robin, you think so? Well, guys, get on them." You know, things happen all day long when you go out. If you, depending on which pill you took, if you took the blue pill, if you're still under the influence of the blue pill, and then you don't know what I'm talking about, but I believe that's. And if you took the red pill, I might have it opposite. I don't know. Maybe I should do my research before I talk. But that's what if you want to call it a fault of mine, maybe that's it. I'll speak on something that I don't truly know, but I just feel that way. And then it helps to verify it afterwards. Like, being out here already feels like heaven. Just by the quietness alone. It's peaceful. But then there's times where, you know, you want to be around people. I just think it's going to be so much better when all of you guys out there are willing to listen. Like, you guys, your ears will be wide open. And there's no more hidden agendas. And the questions, oh, poor little critter. He didn't make it. Poor little guy. What a shame. Poor little guy. Just like he's a little squirrel. I don't think he made it. I think he fell off the tree. I don't want to show it to you, but he's up there. That's how fast people can go. Just like that. People, animals, anything. See, he's over there. I don't want to give him an open casket. But yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, I was not prepared in any way, shape, or form to talk to a mass amount of people. I was not prepared. And then the Spirit led me here to talk about everything that I see. And my job is to give everybody a different perspective of what I see. And then I was able to prove some things too, which is great, because it keeps people's attention. Like, you might not believe me all the way, but at least you're paying attention for whatever reason. Do you think I even remember what the hell all the things I talk about? How can I can't keep up. Therefore, I'm sure I repeat myself a lot. But I'm usually coming up with new information, not just the same old. But when I find out who people are, including myself, like what my purpose is here, well, then I go by that. You know, I go by, all right, apparently this is my purpose. Because basically my whole life, I didn't socialize with people, you know, I just didn't. Because they were all talking about things that I don't care about. So that's why I never really wanted to be around a lot of people. But now that I know that everybody's going to be listening, and it just requires a, you know, flick of a switch. Everybody's going to be listening afterwards. So yeah, I mean, everybody will be coming by one, whether they were invited or not, and I'll be willing to talk to them with any of their questions. Like what direction they're going, if they're lost, or, you know, just taking a walk in the wilderness. If anybody has questions, then I'll be glad to answer them, because everybody will be in the same mindset that I'm in. And then, you know, Steve over there, he can help out too. Tremendous amount of knowledge that I didn't even know. I mean, if I would have just known, like last year, I would have known who I'm dealing with immediately. Now, I gotta say, this is not a usual, typical path that you would take if you're just strolling by yourself. But it's not my park. But see, that's what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. This organization that is meant to harass you, break you down, just make you go freaking nuts and do something stupid and get angry. Yeah, I can see how that can work. But then knowledge increases. Then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's up, future brother? I know. You're lost. I get you. You're looking for direction. You're wandering off in the wilderness. I know. You'll understand soon. You will. But, you know, that's just my faith. That's my delusion that, you know, that God sent on you guys. But you can think He sent it on me if you want. That's fine. I prefer it that way anyway. The greater the reward in the end when it comes true. Ah, man. And the elite have no idea what actual love feels like. You don't even know. You guys are being loved by each other. And me. I just don't get the same love in return. You know, not yet. Not yet. Because it's a respect factor. You know, fear the one who sent me. Fear the one that's giving us the message to you people that can't hear what you're listening to. because I see what the good you is. I could see it. And there's just a, it's literally 100% God's purpose that everybody is the way that they are right now. Everybody. And man, look, I've been saying this for a while now. Satan is going to repent. I mean, he already knows what his role is. He's already, in other words, I think he already did. It's just he didn't let the other 33% of the vessel know. So that 33% is still going by the flesh feelings, the fleshly direction. So the more I get to know, the more I get to know Satan's vessel, the more I understand that. And then the same thing that you understand is that I have faith that you're going to repent. And I have faith that God's going to forgive you. So I've been saying this before. I even said to myself plenty of times, I don't believe there's one person. It's not about one person rising up, showing themselves. Come on, nobody does that. And then, well, I got to tell you, I found a very good volunteer. Candidate. I'm sorry, candidate. Very good candidate to fit that role, because Nimrod's head was wounded at one point because Esau decided to chop his freaking head off, and then and he kind of like defeated him from that point on. So anyway, I've been saying this about Satan for a while now. I've been saying it about Lucifer. The only place that it literally says his name, it sure looks like in the end he repents. You ever wonder sometimes, like, I know the media doesn't wonder, the king of it knows, but other people, do you ever wonder, like, I wonder how many other people are as delusional as Robin, that thinks that, like, they got, like, the main guy or something. It's like, oh, Robin. Well, you know how that circumstantial evidence goes. Only I can feel this way, because the only one that can tell me otherwise is myself. Therefore, myself can be my worst enemy, just like every other human being on earth. You can make yourself your worst enemy, because it's only you doubting yourself. You can blame it on Satan if you want, but Satan is just a choice. You were made here, created, to choose whatever it is that you want to do. And because man made up a bunch of laws that kind of restricts you from doing certain things, especially in these days, you're going to pay the penalty for continuing to talk but they're going to pay the penalty for continuing to not listen. Even though you hear it. Man, oh man. But yeah, Steve, I'm not interested in the whatever the bait is. Oh man. Nope, that's not the secret. It's not what I'm cold. Steve, you're cold, all right? And you're purposely cold. I guarantee you Steve won't say it. He just will not say it. It's no big deal. I mean, I'm sure people could figure it out. It's not rocket science, you know? It's just one of them things that I just know that he won't say. And he knows it too. And no, I'm not trying to bait him into saying it, because he won't. It's a fact. If there's something that's true on the other end, they will never admit it until 7 times passes over. And it's like, all right, come here, it's okay. But I'll tell you what, if you don't believe me, oh man, God is going to rain down fire and brimstone from the sky. It's going to come down, it's going to hit you like a weight of a talent, just, you know, spiritually. It'll do that, and then you get singed by the fire that sprays out of his people's mouths and converts people to being godly, and then we can all get along. So there's my message, and it will.